guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with the Ship With Me. These are all orders that came through over the weekend. I hope your weekend was great. I was able to sneak away to Utah and see some of my friends and get a little time in on the mountains. It's been too long since I've done that, so it was a great weekend for me. Some really interesting things sold this week, some like very interesting designer pieces, some cool vintage. I can't wait to like show you what sold, how long I had it for, what I got it for, what I sold it for, really just kind of bring you into that part of the process for me. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, it is pretty late today. I had a late start. I'm still trying to get my life back together after coming home from traveling. So I've got limited time. It is almost 4 o'clock, so we are just like pressing our luck with time here. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink, sit back, relax, and let's get into the shipment. All right, the first piece we have here is this gorgeous little dress from Haute Hippie. I have the belt separate here. This is 100% silk, and it's this pretty neutral beige with this really kind of exaggerated cowl neck neckline. Really pretty, but it's kind of difficult to fold because it is so blousy up top. Haute Hippie is one of those brands that I'm kind of like in between on. I'm interested to hear what you guys are doing with Haute Hippie. Haute Hippie used to be like one of those crazy bolo brands. It is a very, very expensive brand, but it is something that I see fairly frequently at like TJ Maxx. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not one of the cheap things that you find at TJ Maxx, and I don't think you find everything, but I do see it there, so I do think that that has devalued the brand somewhat. I mean, back in the day, I used to be able to get something like this would be $60, $70, $80, like no question. Now you're down closer to like the 30s or 40s. So for sure there's been some devaluation happening there, which is a shame because their stuff is gorgeous. This falls into the same category as like a joie, right? Same kind of deal. But you know, if you go to buy it online, it's still $300, $400 for a dress like this. Anyway, let me know what you are doing with Haute Hippie. Are you still picking it up? Do you still love finding it? Let me know. So I had this listed for just about 2 months. I had it listed for $45 and I got an offer for $38, which I did accept. With the $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $30.42. Hope she absolutely loves it. This is stunning and it was in like brand new condition. Next up, I have this cute dress from Talbots. This is one of the kind of things that I like to pick up from Talbots. It's just a simple little V-neck kind of fit and flare dress. But this is something I kind of broke my own rules on. Typically with Talbots, I try to pick up only larges and above. And this is a size medium, so it did take quite a while to sell. And it's a shame. This is like a perfect little black dress. It's super comfy. It's that really like soft tencel. So it feels like a dream and it's in like brand new condition. Perfect like wear to work. Like this is an easy like work to evening dress. So Talbots is one of those brands that like pretty expensive retail. Probably was over $100. But it does appeal to like a more mature clientele. So for the most part, your smalls, extra smalls, mediums even, are just gonna sit a little bit longer. But they do typically, if you find something like this in an extra large, this would probably have been sold in days. People seek it out. It is one of those brands that people really like and they do look for. Just like a Chico's, just like a Soft Surroundings, very much in that same vein. And their stuff is like beautifully made. So I had this listed for 11 months. Again, I broke my own rule on sizing here. So I had it listed for about 11 months and I had it listed for $34, which again, if this was like a size extra large, it probably would have sold like full price or close to it. And I got an offer for $25, which I did accept. And with the $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $20.48. Hope she loves it. This is such an easy, like one-piece wonder, will never be out of style, will always look good. Next up, this is a funky little vintage piece that I found. This is Paolo Gucci. And let me show you the back collar there. It says Paolo Gucci. So Paolo Gucci was, I believe, the cousin of Maurizio Gucci. He was, if you watch the House of Gucci movie, I believe this is the guy that Jared Leto played. And he had his own line, like back in the heyday. This is probably 80s, just going by the style. And I'll tell you, like, quality is there. Like, this cotton is top notch. The intarsia knitting is nice. Like, all the details are there. Like, this feels like something, I wouldn't be surprised if this was something that came out of Gucci, like the regular house of Gucci. Quality wise, like it feels at that same level. But of course, Palo Gucci is certainly less desirable than regular Gucci. However, there are collectors that look for it. So this was one of those ones that I immediately had a ton of interest on. And the crazy thing is, I don't have this happen to me all that often. I mean, I think I got 15 people that hit me up, same message. What's your lowest that you'll take on that? And let me know. Like, I think where most of us are sellers here, we anticipate negotiations, but like opening up a negotiation with what's the lowest you'll take, kind of a turn off for me. Like, I can't imagine ever going to somebody and being like, off the bat, what's your lowest that you'll take? To me, that just kind of gives me a like problem customer vibes. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Like, let me know down below. Is that something that kind of sets you on the wrong path as a seller? If not, is there anything like that that people open with that kind of like turns you off immediately? Let me know. But the sheer amount of interest that I got on this, I knew that this would go fast, right? Like, obviously people are looking for something like this. So anyway, I had this listed for $48, and guys, the comps, like the other Palo Gucci pieces, were so all over the place. I saw some like sold comps for like $18 and then some sold comps for like $300 for similar pieces. So truly all over the place. Anyway, I had it listed for $48. Most of the pieces that I saw were kind of listed between like $45 and $55. I'm talking polo shirts for the most part. I got an offer for $39, which I gladly accepted after 1 week. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $30.43. Like, keep your eyes out for the Palo Gucci stuff. I mean, it sells really quick. That's a great profit. It's not getting me $200, $300 like regular Gucci polo would, but I'll take it. And it's a fun story to tell. Next up, I'm pretty sure this is going to one of you guys. This jacket from Marco Bologna is like whimsy. It's just pure whimsy. So I picked this up because it felt like really nice. This is kind of like a matte satin on the outside. It's lined. And it's got body, like the way that it's cut and the way that it's treated. Like, it's actually like it looks like a sweater, but it's a print. And it has body almost like a scuba material. It's so cool. Like, I've never seen anything like this. And you can kind of see like how puffy that is. I don't know if you will ever meet anybody who has something like this. I mean, talk about one of a kind piece. And so it turns out Marco Bologna is a high-end designer out of, surprising to nobody, Bologna, Italy. So it's all Italian made. It's, again, just the construction is there. It's got a big chunky zipper. It's just so fun. And the print, again, the print is like a sweater knit, and then it's like jewels. Like, these look like ruby hearts rimmed with more jewels. It's so unusual. And I'm a big fan. Like, I am somebody who, if I am out thrifting and I see something that is weird and well made, and this is truly weird and well made, I've never seen anything like this, I am going to sit up and pay attention. I love finding these kind of gems. It's super expensive. I want to say that this retailed somewhere, I can't remember if it was like $500 or $700. Very, very expensive brand. It's not a particularly big brand, so there wasn't much in terms of sold comps out there, so I made my best guess. I had this listed for $84. I had it for about 2 months, and I got an offer for $50, which I did accept. And with $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $39 even, and I hope you absolutely love this, because this is one of those things that I've had in my closet that every time I see it, it makes me smile. Just one of those, it's whimsy. Like, this is pure whimsy. So fun. Next up, this is a great bread and butter, and I will tell you to pick this up from pretty much every brand. This is from Talbots. This is another one from Talbots. This is what they call a Breton stripe shirt. Basically a knockoff of a St. James, and this is made with like a heavy gauge jersey. So if you can imagine a heavyweight t-shirt that you get, make it a little bit heavier than that, and now you're in the territory, right? So this is made, like, these were originally made to be sailor shirts, hence the immediate nautical feels that this probably gave you when you saw it. But these kind of things are forever in style. If the brand is of quality, pick them up. Even if you pay up a little bit, like Talbots is probably like the lowest, and I'll go with J. Crew. I've sold like 3 of these from J. Crew. I've sold 1 from St. James. Of course, St. James is a bolo. I would be very surprised if anybody's ever found that in a thrift. Those are the kind of pieces that people have in their closet for a lifetime. Like literally mine's going on probably 15 or 20 years in my closet, and it will probably stay in my closet for the rest of my life because it's just never going to be out of style. It is the kind of thing you can always throw on under a blazer, no matter what blazer, what silhouette blazer is popular at the time. Something like this is always going to look good underneath it. It's always going to look good at the beach. It's always going to look classy and pulled together with a pair of jeans, no matter what kind of jeans are in style right now. You know, like I got mine, if memory serves me right, I got my St. James before skinny jeans were a thing. So that's like how far back they go. So it was still like the flare days, and I wear it all through the skinny jeans days. You know, I'll wear it under a blazer today. So anyway, I had this listed for just one day. Just like I said, these things will be in and out of your closet so fast. I had it listed for $28, got an offer for $20, which I accepted with a $1 cost of the bins. This brought me to a profit of $16.39. Again, Talbots is one of those brands that like, it'll usually sell fast. It won't sell for the most amount of money. Generally, most things that I get from Talbots go between $20 and $30. The ones that I've gotten from J. Crew that are similar to that, I think have generally gone $28, $29, $30. St. James, you can expect to get probably $40, $50. So next up, I've got this cute little tunic from Free People. It's called the border print tunic. And I thought it was super cute, a little bit more of a substantial piece. And this is, I love it when I find these things. This is one of those pieces from Free People that is kind of a sleeper hit. You know, like every once in a blue moon, you'll stumble on a piece from them. So Free People, you know, for the most part has gotten super saturated on the resale market. For a lot of their tops, you're not gonna see much more than like $20, $25, maybe $30 on them. Every once in a blue moon, something pops. Their dresses are generally a different beast, unless it's something in high demand. And this is one of those things that's in high demand. Like I didn't even comp this in stores, but when I got home and I was kind of entering everything into my spreadsheet, I always do like a cursory look at pricing. And a lot of the sold comps on this were like higher, 35 to 45. I think one was even at like 60. So you knew that this was one of those sleeper hits. And I wish there was a way that I could tell you that you could tell which from which. But the fact is, Free People has so many SKUs, and they put out so many SKUs every year that it is almost impossible to tell unless you actually do the comping. Unless you really have your like finger on the pulse of like Free People and what people are looking for. Anyway, so I had this listed for 2 weeks at $42, and it popped through as a full price sale. So there you go. So with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $37.48. I hope she loves it. It is very, very cute. Very unusual tunic too. Had a little bit of like a peplum, but it was like drop waist. Really cute. Super, super cute. All right, next up, we've got another really cute vintage silk piece. This is from a brand called Como Seta, which I've never heard before. This is one that my mom found. And I'm gonna say that this is probably 90s. It's this gorgeous, lightweight, silk jacquard. From everything I could find, Como Seta was a pretty high-end brand. And this is just a classic cream button-down shirt. It's got a little decorative button there right up in the collar. These are the kind of things that I will pick up anytime I see them. I usually see somewhere in the 30s for stuff like this. These are usually a pretty quick sale for me. They're just very like, again, I like to talk about like easy kind of entryways for vintage garments, and this is a perfect example. It is a classic closet staple that is very, very easy to integrate into a modern wardrobe. You know, this is probably about 30 years old, and it definitely has that vintage feel to it, but it's also not like over the top in your face retro. Like this is an easy way to like incorporate that in. And something like this, you know, you use all those vintage keywords and everything, but you also want to use like quiet luxury. Like this is a very luxurious piece. It looks luxe. It feels luxe. It is luxe. But either way, I love pieces like this, especially when I can find them at the bins in good shape and they're cream, which will never stop being amazing to me. Would they go through before they actually land in the bins and they stay like crisp and clean? I don't even understand that. So anyway, I had this listed at $40, and I went back and forth with the buyer, and we landed on a price of $27. I had it for about a month. Again, this is one that my mom found at her bins, so it probably cost like 50 cents. Like her bins are very, very inexpensive. And with a like 50-cent cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $20.60. I hope she loves it. That is such a stunning, elegant piece. Next up, this is something that I found a couple months ago, and it's something that I always get excited about because I almost never find it. This is from Maeve, and this is plus size from Anthropology. I almost never find plus size Anthropology. And this is a beautiful top. It looks like eyelet, it isn't, but it is all over embroidery in this green and white. And it's kind of a baby doll silhouette, almost like a drop waist baby doll silhouette. It's really, really cute. It's size 2X. Let me know, do you frequently find, like I find a lot of Anthropology stuff. I find almost nothing in plus sizes. Let me know, like where do you find a lot of plus sizes out while you are sourcing? If so, where in the country are you finding a lot of this? I always get excited when I find it, and again, it is just nowhere near as frequently as I wish it was. So I had this listed for about 2.5 months. Not surprising, because it is kind of the cold months and this is a sleeveless top. Interesting that it's selling in January though, but again, vacation season is right around the corner, spring break season is right around the corner, so make sure you're getting your stuff listed and make sure you're keywording it accordingly. I had this listed for $32 and I got an offer for $27.20. I know that's very specific. And with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $24.57. Oh, she loves it. That is such a cute top. I love those colors. Next up, we've got this cool 90s vintage Disneyland t-shirt. This is like a long sleeve t-shirt. I find a lot of Disneyland stuff here. Not surprisingly, I'm, pretty close to Disneyland. I don't pick a lot of it up, but an easy way to tell if you are out and about and you are sourcing, an easy way to tell is if they have a woven tag. So this tag right here is from late 90s, early 2000s. And that kind of stuff is in demand. So anytime I see something that's old, and I, to be clear, do not see a lot of it because this is something that a lot of like the bins bros, as I call them, they look for this stuff because they sell it at like a premium at Rose Bowl Flea or Melrose Trading Post. And easily something like this would go for like $30, $40 without batting an eye. So I always consider myself very lucky when I do get my hands on one because it is not frequent. But if you are outsourcing and you want to know if what you are holding is vintage or not, one of the easiest ways to tell is if the label, like the clothing, like the brand label, is screen printed onto the back neck versus like a woven tag like I just showed you. That's not vintage. That goes for like band tees, souvenir tees, everything like that. If that label is screen printed, it's not vintage. I think that they started doing that probably like in the late 2000s. It's a pretty new thing that companies are doing. So that's an easy first pass check to see if what you're holding is vintage. Anyway, I had this listed for about 4 months. It's a pretty small size. I had it listed for $26, got an offer for $20, which I did accept. With a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $15 even. And I hope she loves it. I hope that means she has a Disneyland trip in the future, and that always makes me happy. Next up, another vintage piece. This is vintage Free People. And I think my mom might have found this. This cute little strapless dress with this pretty embroidered beaded piece there on the bust. Now, it's funny because a lot of people won't touch vintage Free People. I like vintage Free People. There are definitely a couple years of Free People that I won't touch because it hasn't come back into style yet. You know what I'm saying? But this is Y2K. Free People, and for sure I'm going to pick that up every time I see it. And there's like a million different tags so it's kind of hard to learn. People always want easy tips on how to date tags, and that's such a big question because there's a lot of brands. You think about like Free People, at any given time they're using 6 or 7 different clothing labels that are current to right now. And there's a lot of brands that kind of do the same thing, but the information's out there in kind of bits and pieces. But Free People in particular, there's somebody who's gathered together a really good repository of the different Free People labels out there. So I'll link that down in the description box below. It'd be super helpful for you if this is something you are like not sure about. But I've had really good luck with Y2K Free People, like really good luck. It was something I think that was used a lot on TV shows, so you have a lot of that kind of nostalgia attached to it, because it was very high end. Anyway, I had this listed for $28 for about 2 months. It popped through as a full price sale. So with a roughly $1 cost, this brought me to a profit of $24.22. So I hope she loves it. It's going back to Philadelphia. As somebody from Philly, like Free People and Anthro and Urban Outfitters are always gonna have a soft spot in my heart. Actually, If anybody is from Philly, let me know. So for years and years and years and years, my secret little thing in Philly was that Free People and Anthro and Urban used to donate their overstock to Circle Thrift. I don't know if Circle Thrift is still around, but I always used to be able to go there and find some of their overstock. Just recently, my sister-in-law found a Maeve piece in TJ Maxx, and I'm like, I didn't think that they sold clear out to TJ Maxx. So let me know. I'm interested to see if they're doing something different with their kind of overstock, but also let me know if you are in Philly, if Circle Thrift is still around, and if you can still get the Free People Anthropology overstock there. Let me know, because I might have to stop there the next time I'm home. And finally, hello, the most gorgeous vintage skirt. So this is from the 40s, and this absolutely fabulous blue and red print. I think that this is an old tablecloth. It's definitively handmade. This waist is like teeny tiny, it's 11 inches. This is 22-inch waist. I always wonder when I sell something this old, if it's going to be worn, if it's gonna be something that's like used in a theatrical setting, or if it's going to like a museum. It could go to any of those things, right? It has some age spots for sure, but overall it's in great condition considering the age. I'm pretty skilled with stain removal, but I mean, for something that is, 80 years old, I'm gonna let a professional handle that. So fabulous. And I'll tell you, this thing sold in minutes. Like, I was not even done cross-listing it to other platforms and it sold. So that's how fast this sold, which always makes me happy because that means that somebody was like actively looking for something like this and understood the rarity of it, right? I've never seen anything like this while out thrifting, ever. But anyway, I had this listed for $34. Like, if it was flawless, if it didn't have, the age spots on it, probably could have gotten closer to 45 or 50 just because of the age and what it was. But it popped through, like I said, in minutes as a full price sale, and with a $1 cost of the bins, this brought me to a profit of $31.16. And oh my God, I hope she absolutely adores this. It would not fit my left thigh, but I can dream. But guys, that is it. That is the shipment for today. It is getting dark, so I've got to get these things loaded up and off to the post office. But thank you so much for hanging with me while I'm literally getting my work done. It is always so fun to have somebody to nerd out about this stuff with. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. Of course, if you have any content that you would like to see me make, never hesitate to put that down in the comments. I'm building out a list of things that you guys want to see. And it's been super fun to start to outline those and get those ready to be filmed. But I've got to get going. So guys, without further ado, have the most beautiful weekend. Happy hunting. And I will see you all in